We remember it like it was just yesterday. The Detroit Lions were a half hour away from making their first ever Super Bowl appearance. And a lot of you guys, like myself, are still getting over it. But it's almost time to move on because we are in full effect. Like, believe it or not, check this out. Our last game was the 28th of January. It has been 3.5 months since then. And in 3.5 months from right now will be the preseason. We will be gearing up for like the last preseason game heading into the NFL season. Now, I'm not one to waste the summer away or wish the summer away, but that's how crazy and how fast life is moving. So with that being said, Bleacher Report, I saw this today, and it was 8 bold predictions for the 2024 NFL season. And they went to go list some, like Aaron Rodgers does this, and you know, the Texans and Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. lead the league in sacks. And then the last one, a.k.a. the first one, ranked number 1, was this. And I thought that you guys would love to see this. This is coming from Bleacher Report. The Detroit Lions will advance to their first ever Super Bowl and win it. Now, I don't know. I'm sure it was a lot of fans that were as distraught as I was. Like, I was distraught. I was angry. I'm not a rude guy, but in the airport to Colorado, going through the San Jose airport, and then going in Colorado. And I don't know if I told this story, but there was a lady. I was sitting there, had COVID. I got my hood on, my hat on, and I am distraught, dejected. This is after I got off the plane. And the pilot called us dastardly lions. She was like, "Oh my God, I was rooting for your team yesterday." And I found out that a lot of people in California can't stand the 49ers. They hate them. Don't forget, 49ers California has 3 different teams. And the least favorite is the San Francisco 49ers. And I think it has to do with their history, their fan base. But anyway, I couldn't speak. I couldn't open my mouth. I didn't even acknowledge. I just was like, and kind of walked away because the last thing I wanted to hear is what you wanted my team to do. Like we're like 24 hours, less than 24 hours away from the loss. But I will say this, the reason I told that story is because if the Detroit Lions make the Super Bowl, I would much rather them make it and win it their first time than to make it, lose, and try to get back again. So if the trade-off is losing in the NFC title game, blowing the 17-point lead, me popping a gasket, if the trade-off is the Detroit Lions reaching their first Super Bowl and winning it, then that is a trade-off I will suffer through everything I did this year for that to happen, like 100%. But here's what Bleacher Report had to say. Says, unfortunately, because in 2024, a team that has never been to a Super Bowl, let alone won one, is going to stand at the Superdome, which is in New Orleans, as confetti rains down at the conclusion of Super Bowl 59. It's crazy. Roman numerals. Shout out to Roman numerals. Put in the comments below, how many Roman numerals are there when it comes to numerically? Like, put them down there. Just a history lesson. The Detroit Lions very nearly made their first Super Bowl appearance a year ago. Well, wow. Okay, just 3 months ago, giving the San Francisco 49ers all they could handle in the NFC Championship game. Replete with young talent on both sides of the ball, Detroit spent a chunk of the offseason spending an even bigger chunk of cash on locking up young stars like Penei Sewell and wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown. However, while Sewell told reporters that all those new zeros in his bank account are welcome, the new contract didn't change his goal for 2024. Win 2 more playoff games than a year ago. Speaking of the NFC title game and the Super Bowl, Penei Sewell is a dog all day, every day. Him over Jamar Chase. Crazy. We all need it, he said. I had a conversation with Amon-Ra St. Brown after we found out that we were getting the contracts and going to sign. That's our goal, is to host that Lombardi at the end of the day. I think it's supposed to be hoist is how that would be, but I'm sure that's not a typo. And to just do that, just to win, bro. There's nothing else to it. All those individual accolades don't mean nothing I want the big boy, and I want it now. Penei Sewell is a dog. Take your time. Take your time. No milk, no cookies, nothing. Shout out to Penei Sewell. I love this kid. The Lions are loaded with skill position talent on offense. Detroit has one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. Jared Goff is one of the league's most underrated quarterbacks. Say it again. Preach. And Detroit addressed their biggest weakness in the draft by selecting cornerbacks with their first 2 picks. The Lions have all the pieces necessary to make a deep playoff run. And when that run makes it all the way to victory over the Jets in the Big Easy, the party in Motown will likely go on for weeks. And at the beginning of that, somewhere in that bold prediction is that the Jets will make the Super Bowl, I assume. Here it is. Aaron Rodgers, there we go. Aaron Rodgers will win his 5th MVP award and lead the New York Jets to Super Bowl 59. Now, wouldn't that be something? I'm going to tell you what. I don't think the prediction, that specific prediction, it would be bold. I could see the Texans being in the Super Bowl before I could see the Jets. But that's like Texans, Lions, Texans, Browns. We thought we might even got that matchup before the Browns were eliminated in the playoffs, right? I think that the Lions are one of the Super Bowl favorites. I think you got it. I think it's the same 4 teams that ended the season in the order that they won it or that they went out. Kansas City would be 1, San Francisco would be 2, the Baltimore Ravens would be 3, even though they went out just a little bit before us, literally like 3 hours, and then us as number 4. And I think I saw the NFL power rankings, and the Detroit Lions post-draft are ranked 4 in the NFL. So it's going to be very curious to see how things happen as the season go on. Now, you think about this. The Lions made it to the NFC title game with the team that they had. And there's no doubt that we are a better team, specifically on defense. Revamped secondary, got some additional pieces on the defensive line. So you would think that the Lions are they are a better team, and you would assume that they would go further. But all of this is everything during the season is great. We had one of the most healthy rosters going into the playoffs and even in the playoffs. In the playoffs is one and done. That's when you have to be at the top of your game. So that's when all of these additions are really going to pay off. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm sure we all think the Lions are going to go to the Super Bowl, be able to. They have progressed every year. I don't think it's no guaranteed, obviously, right? But they have progressed. 3-13-1, 9-8, almost made the playoffs. Then you go 12-5, right? NFC title game. You would think that trajectory will lead us to the Super Bowl, but we got to finish the job. But Penei Sewell said, "I want it now." That's my kind of dude, man. Love that guy. I love him, man. Don't forget that this channel is brought to you by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.